If God exists, how could evil possibly exist? And he is an almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing God. Well, the answer is quite simple, I would think. It's because of free will. If God wanted us to all be robots, just doing whatever he wants us to do, then it's not really anything. It's not even obedience, right? It's just what we're programmed to do. You see, like, love by definition must be given. God wants to have a relationship with us. So what does it require? Free will. With free will, there is actually true obedience, true faith, and true love. Because now we're choosing, using our free will that he has given us, to obey him, to follow him, and to love him, because love must be given. You see, all these actions that we just specify, it is something that we must choose to do. A robot like my computer or a calculator, when I type in some digits, it just spit back out the results. It's not really obeying me per se, it's just doing what it's programmed to do. No will, no logic, just do its own thing, right? So the first thing is free will. God gave us free will so that we can choose to obey and to follow him. We, as humans, instead of using it to obey and follow him, choose to use our own free will to do evil to one another, to steal, to covet, to build up this desire to take someone's property or spouse. So the question is kind of silly, really, because it's kind of putting the blame on God for our action, which doesn't make sense. Let's say you have a child, and you're a good person, and you do no evil by your standard. You're a relatively good person. And you're telling your child, this is how to live a good life. So you wrote this 10 rules. Is it, my son, if you follow this 10 steps, you'll be fine. So you're encouraging your son, and you raise him up that way, and of course you did all the right things. But in the ending, no matter how close you are to your son, you cannot really dictate his decision. In the end, it's up to him. So he can choose to follow you, or he can choose to not follow you and follow his friends. So in the end, let's say he chooses to follow his friends, joining gangs, doing drugs, stealing and robbing people, hurting people, and eventually murder. If you're such a good person, why did your son turn out to be such a murderous person? You did all the right things. You wrote the 10 rules for him, but yet he turned out to be extremely bad, and he ended up killing people. So I guess by using that same logic, it is your fault that your son turned out to become a murderer. No, logically speaking, it is not your fault. In the scenario we presented, you did everything right. You gave him the good rules. You live a good life, and yet he chose not to follow you, but to follow bad people and use his free will to do bad things. Is that your fault? Of course not. Likewise, it is not God's fault. So why, if God is all-knowing, all-powerful, why does evil exist? Because of free will. Free will is a double-edged sword. It allows people to truly love, trust, be merciful, be obedient. But at the same time, it allows people to use their free will to hurt others, to cheat and murder and steal and rob. And, honestly, all the bad things that happen in this world, it's not God. It's us. Does that make sense? How about this? If we all follow the 10 commandments, how much better would the world be? Let's just do the last 5, okay? No coveting, false testimony, no stealing, no adultery, and no murdering. How much better would the world be? I would say a lot better. So why evil? Because of us. God created this world to be great. We came in and we screwed everything up, and we're blaming God. We come in and we lie to people, and we plant seed of deception to people, to cheat people, to hurt people, and we say, why is God creating such a bad world? We go around and then we murder people and we rape people, and we say God is bad and we are good, when we're the one who's making the world a worse place. Does it make sense? So how about this? Stop putting the blame on God, and let's start looking at our own sins and how we negatively impact the world every day in our life. I think that would be a good start. All right, guys, with that said, God bless. Think about it. Hopefully you guys will truly consider what I said today. Yeah. All right, see ya.